I know there's so much of information out there about what sort of foods help you burn fat, what you can do to burn fat. But today I'm going to touch upon 10 major points that I think and I see generally work for any kind of people, that by incorporating this, you are likely to definitely see results. So, first of all, I think many of you would have already heard about having a protein heavy breakfast. Now, that is a well known fact, but when you add fiber to protein, then you truly have a winning combination. This really helps manage your blood sugar. And the way I go about it is I tell my clients, you do protein, you do fiber, and then you add fats. And for breakfast, try and avoid carbs, or you can have them in really limited quantity. So go for carbs like blueberries are carbs, sweet potatoes are carbs. But really limit your carbs in the morning. Your breakfast is a super important meal of the day because it actually dictates how you're going to be feeling for the rest of the day. So we're going to focus. So point number one is focus on protein along with fiber and good fats for breakfast. The second one may come as a shocker, but this has got to do with your caffeine intake. Many people, no matter how much I talk about this on my Instagram, still get up in the morning and the first thing you guys do is have coffee. That is so bad for you on so many levels because one, obviously coffee erodes your gut microbiome. But where this fits in with fat is that when you're not nourishing your body with other stuff like fats and you're not giving your body actual food and you're just going straight for coffee, this can seriously spike up your cortisol levels. And anything that I'm saying today is relevant to both men and women because I also see a lot of fat accumulation for men around their belly area, which clearly shows that they have, that's because of high cortisol levels. So the way you control that is that you can postpone your coffee a little later in the day and see how you're feeling. It starts to reduce your puffiness, so to speak. And for women who are in their perimenopausal, menopausal phase, I would sometimes say just cut out the caffeine and see how you feel, because just doing that for a few weeks can make a big difference. And if it doesn't make a difference, then you'll know, but that's really unlikely. Having coffee on an empty stomach is never a good idea for anybody of any age or any gender. So point number two is monitor your caffeine intake. See how you're feeling. It truly sometimes, if you're already stressed, will increase your stress levels further. So monitor your caffeine intake. Next, we all know that, we are not supposed to eat or snack after dinner, right? We all talk about that all the time. But what really helps is that once you finish your dinner, you actually take 12 hours minimum until you break your fast the next morning. And if you really want this to come into play, then you can increase your fasting time to 14 or 16 hours, but this is really subject to how you feel about fasting. Women leading up to their periods may not want to fast because again that will hike up your cortisol levels, but otherwise fasting is a great tool. Try and maintain 12 to 14 hours. I think 12 hours is something everybody can do at any given point. Finish your dinner and then fast for 12 hours. That really gives your body a break. And then break your fast in a very systematic manner in the morning. Certainly not with caffeine first. I always say do like overnight soaked nuts, do some raisins, everything soaked overnight, and then you can have them in the morning. And then you slowly ease yourself into your daily routine of food, whatever that may be. Next, I want to list out a few bunch of, and broccoli. It's a power-packed combination. I think even doing sweet potatoes and broccoli for dinner, along with something else like a quinoa salad, or you could even be doing like a cauliflower sabji and you could have a ragi roti or something like that, but with that you can have sweet potato and black chana cutlets. These are things that have really high satiety, but they also really help in burning fat. Another thing that's great to include is blueberries, pomegranate, any fruits and vegetables that are purple or dark red are really, really high in antioxidants, and they're a great option if you are looking to burn some fat. Point number 5 is something that I'm not entirely sure everybody knows about, or maybe if you all have heard about it, maybe you don't know how to put this into action. But I have recently done a reel about your food order and how that impacts your blood sugar levels. Because ultimately, when we talk about fat, your fat is accumulating around your belly because you are not processing, your body is not processing insulin correctly. So it really helps when you are, sorry, it really helps when you have a proper food order in place. So always start your meals fiber heavy, like a big salad, like, or eat the sabji first, or just do like a raw salad of cucumber and tomatoes and carrots. Put a little lime in it, put a little salt in it, have that, and then go into your main meal. So always remember fiber first, and if you can, follow fiber up with some protein. If you're a non-vegetarian, of course you can have chicken, fish, whatever. If you're a vegetarian, then try and have a few pieces of paneer in your salad. That's a great way to start your meal, because again, that builds up satiety, and then you go into your main meal. You're unlikely to eat too much carbs in that case. And another thing that I always tell my clients, which I want to say to all the vegetarian people, is that, guys, it's not that you cannot get protein from various sources, right? Like if you switch rajma for lobia, that right there is a great high protein option for vegetarians. If you do a lobia sort of gravy like rajma, and you do Greek yogurt, and you do a jawar roti, that's a really great meal, along with a salad, of course, starting with a salad. So focus on these kind of things, because you can get protein from many different ways. I do understand it is more challenging for vegetarians, but it is not impossible for you to incorporate protein in every single meal. So the food order really helps, because this will control your blood sugar spike after your meals, and that in turn leads to you not accumulating fat. The next one is something that I think all our parents have told us when we are young, and now we do not follow it. And that is, please chew your food. It is so important to chew your food. I mean, especially in Indian culture, this is something that I think everybody's parents have told them. Eat slowly, chew. I mean, thank God before you eat your food, and enjoy your meal, and be really so happy about the food that you're consuming, rather than eat it in a hurry. Because what that does is, when you're not chewing, the saliva in our mouth really helps us in digesting the food properly. So when you're not chewing and you're just taking big bites and you're just like gulping your food down, it definitely leads to bloating, it leads to gas, and over a period of time, it can cause a lot of weight gain, because you're just not processing your food properly. So you may be eating not very unhealthy, or you may be eating healthy, but you may be feeling really uncomfortable after your meals and wondering what is going on. The first thing you need to check is that, are you chewing your food? Are you eating slowly? And are you taking your time to enjoy your meal rather than gulping it down? This is really a big one, because when you gulp food down, you also gulp in a lot of air, and that causes a lot of gas. So point number 6 would have to be, chew your food slowly and mindfully. Okay, next. Now, connected to this is my next point, which is that don't watch gadgets while eating your food, because then you are obviously likely to eat in a hurry. All of these things do tie into fat loss, because when you're on a fat loss journey, usually you are going to have foods that are protein heavy. Protein heavy foods take longer to digest, they are harder to digest. For that, you would have to ensure that you're chewing your food properly. So all of these things really tie in one after the other, because when you're not going to chew your food properly, if you're not going to process your protein properly, you're going to be bloated, and then you're probably not going to eat protein, because you'll say, I'm not used to it, I'm getting constipated, I'm getting gassy. But the first thing is, monitor how you're eating. Take small bites, chew properly, really almost liquidize your food, and then gulp it down. This seems like I'm giving my son a lecture, but it is true. Then moving on to point number 8, is that it is so important to move. You have to move. This is not just about hitting those 10,000 steps. While it is, that is very important. But I'm going to explain to you why movement is so important. Rather than just exercising, movement is important. One, you will see to it that even if you move every now and again, throughout the day, not doing anything major, you will realize that in general you're becoming more and more active, and that is exactly what increases your metabolic rate, which means that your body is going to burn fat at a much faster rate, which is what we want. If you incorporate this movement after your meals, it's fantastic. At least just move for like 10 to 15 minutes. Some sort of energy expulsion is important for, your blood sugar levels to be stable. So another thing that movement really helps with is cortisol. So if you're feeling very stressed, or you are you're in the middle of a very stressful situation, it's really good to take time out and just go for a quick stroll. Even if you don't have access to like a garden or a balcony, just stroll around wherever you are, in your office or in the corridor or whatever it is. But that really helps bring down your cortisol levels, which in turn will not allow your body to store fat around your belly. So movement is essential. Movement is essential. That is the one way of staying healthy, keeping the fat off, and also starting to see those fantastic results. It does not come with going on increasing your exercise. It actually comes with increasing your movement through the day. Point number 9 is I have a little bit of insight on how you can maximize your workouts for fat loss. So rather than hitting the gym 6 times a week, and I can't even tell you how many clients I talk to about this, that less is more when it comes to exercise. Believe me, rest is as important and recovery is as important as you exercising. So the first thing to do is incorporate these steps. The next thing to do is, if you're going to start your strength training journey, twice a week, focus on strength. So like upper body, lower body, and once a week do body conditioning. Body conditioning means the weights you're going to be carrying will be moderate to light, but you are going to be doing movements, not typically HIIT, slightly less high intensity, but they will be intense movements with light weights. This increases your heart rate, but the best thing about these workouts is that much after you finish them, your metabolism is revved up, so you continue to burn calories for many, many hours even after finishing your exercise. So if you're somebody who's just getting on this journey and does not know how to plan your workouts, tell your trainers or figure it out, or go online, and there are so many workouts. Look up a good upper body workout, a good lower body workout, and a body conditioning workout. And that's what you should do 3 times a week. 2 times a week, moderate cardio. Moderate cardio can be incline walks, it can be walks outside, it can be cycling, it can be swimming, it can be whatever you like, badminton, tennis. Well, I know everybody is loving pickleball, but I don't really recommend pickleball, because I feel like a lot of people end up getting injured and getting carried away, and they're not able to limit their movement to 30 to 45 minutes. But we don't want you to overdo it, because remember, you are going to be focusing on your step count. Last but not the least is your sleep. It plays such an important role in how you look, in how you feel, in how you show up for the day. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is essential. For women, 8 to 9 hours of sleep is essential. I don't know many women who will be following that, but it really is. And for men, 6 to 8 hours, whatever, depends on, what amount of sleep makes you feel good. But when you wake up in the morning, you should be feeling good. And one of the really important steps is sleep hygiene, which means that 30 to 45 minutes before you go to bed, the room should be sort of dark, it should be cool, you should be calm, you should pray or meditate or just give gratitude, and turn the lights off and then go to bed, which means that the gadgets have to be away from you for 45 minutes prior to what your bedtime is. So if you sleep at 10, by 9:15, put your gadgets away. And one thing that I tell a lot of my clients who find it very hard to stop scrolling to do is that instead of putting a morning alarm, I'd rather that you put a night alarm of when you're supposed to go to bed. You can just keep the phone aside when the alarm rings. You know it's time to put the phone on charge and start prepping for bedtime. Even reading is a fantastic habit. All you need to do is read for 5 to 7 minutes to get into that really drowsy state and go to bed. So these are my top 10. I'm going to repeat them for you. You have to start your day with high protein, high fiber, and fat. Try and avoid carbs or really limit them in your breakfast in the morning. to really monitor your caffeine intake and never have coffee on an empty stomach. You don't ever want to do that. It really increases your anxiety and your cortisol levels. 3, there has to be 12 to 14 hours, but minimum 12 hours gap between your dinner and the time that you break your fast. If you're able to do this, you will really ensure that your food is digested, your bowel movements will feel great. So try and incorporate this. 4, there are certain foods that you should have in your diet, like avocados, broccoli, cottage cheese, blueberries, sweet potatoes. All of these foods really facilitate fat burn, so try and include them in your diet. Sweet potato is a carb, blueberries a carb, these are all carbs. So when you're incorporating them, remember that they are carbohydrates, so reduce your other carbs. Next, you got to follow the food order. Always start with a nice salad. If you're a vegetarian, put a few pieces of paneer or a few pieces of feta. If you're a non-vegetarian, then just have your non-veg and your salad before you go into your main meal. That's a great way to control your blood sugar spikes. Next, the age-old chew your food, super important. Keep your gadgets away, very important. Move after every meal, move every chance you get, move when you feel stressed. The answer always lies in low to moderate movement, and rather getting stuck in these cycles of insane workouts, because you cannot overwork out. You can only do 45 minutes or 1 hour, but this is something you have to incorporate through the day. And the last 2 is strength train. Upper body, lower body, body conditioning. That's how you want to break it up through the week. And last but not the least, please focus on your sleep. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm just going to take a few questions, because so somebody is like, I do get mood swings sometimes. How to control that? I'm controlling my sugar levels. What to do? It's not really a simple answer. We would have to see what sort of food you're consuming, how much of protein you need, whether you are incorporating foods that are actually calming and they are really good for your mood. So one thing you can do is that you can incorporate chamomile tea in the night, and you can add a little bit of organic honey that really helps you calm down. So if you're somebody who feels that you're very moody, I don't know when you're moody. Are you moody in the morning? Are you moody in the night? But teas, different kinds of teas really help calm you down. Add a little bit of honey, and that's a great way of calming your system down. And if it's something that happens during the day, like I said, if you're feeling stressed or you're feeling agitated, if you can, go to a garden or be in the open, go out and take a little walk. But otherwise, just take a little stroll around wherever you are. 2 deep breaths with a big exhale, and follow that up with a little bit of movement, and you are sure to feel better. Okay, some guys are drinking beer and feeling happy. Great. You can drink your beer and feel happy. I have nothing to say on that, but try and incorporate these 10 other things, because you'll have to burn it off. Can you have coffee after breakfast? Yes, of course. I mean, if you feel fine and you feel great, then you should have coffee after breakfast. Great. It was lovely chatting with you guys. I hope you found value in all the information that I've given. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you are unable to go back to sleep, that means you likely are, I'm assuming you're menopausing, and your cortisol levels could be a bit off. Definitely include a really high quality magnesium supplement, and actually having a tablespoon of organic honey in some chamomile tea can really help you as well, because this calms your nervous system. But if you have access to a sauna, and if you're especially if you're a woman who is going through this broken sleep pattern, that definitely means that your stress levels are dysregulated. So if you can incorporate sauna once or twice a week, and start having this chamomile tea with honey in the night before you go to bed, you are sure to feel much, much better. Because for a magnesium supplement, you would still have to consult a nutritionist to understand which is a good one. Sometimes I feel restless and anxious to be at one place, though. I am able to focus. What else am I? Few of these questions are probably too generic, and I would need a lot more specific information to help you out. But anything to do with concentration, I think a practice that many of my clients, and many of my clients I make them do this, is that I do it myself. Wake up in the morning, and before you do anything else, first thank whoever you believe in, like whether it's God, or just give thanks for your life, and then do a little bit of journaling and meditation, because these are the techniques that help you stay grounded. And if you don't have the patience for meditation, if you have access to a garden, go out, try and walk barefoot in a garden, just take the breath, the fresh air in, and you are likely to take on the day with a much better attitude. So, on that note, I am going to sign off, and I will see you guys soon. I hope you found this helpful. This video is going to be on record. If you ever want to reach out to me, head to my Instagram, or there's a link that's going to be attached below, and I will see you guys soon.